This season, we have finally seen the best of Ismael Kone at Sassuolo in the Serie A, in the top flight of Italian football. And he has shown that he has the responsibility, the confidence, but ultimately, the consistency has shown at Sassuolo, which is why Sassuolo have now made it permanent. They have made it official, and they have triggered the buy option in the loan deal from Olympique Marseille to make Ismael Kone a part of the club's future. And that is a statement. That is a huge step in the right direction for Ismael Kone. The star Canadian international midfielder gets to stay at the club that has brought the best out of Ismael Kone and will continue to do so. And we're going to break down the transfer. We're going to look into the transfer details, but more importantly, look into how important this permanent deal is for Ismael Kone and why staying in Italy, staying in Sassuolo will mean so much for his career, not just now, but for the future. But before we dive into those details, make sure to jump into the comments. Let me know your thoughts on Ismael Kone staying in Italy, staying at Sassuolo, and if it was truly the right move in your opinion, and if this helps his stock for the 2026 World Cup. Make sure to smash that like, hit that sub button as we move closer to 1,000 subscribers before the World Cup. But let's jump straight into the transfer details. As it was reported by Fabrizio Romano that Ismael Kone will be staying at Sassuolo. Sassuolo had activated the immediate buy option clause for Ismael Kone, turning the deal into a permanent move, as Olympique Marseille will receive 13 million euros in a total fee and a total package for the Canadian international midfielder. And when you're talking about money, when you're talking about a fee for a player in 2026 in the world of football, 13 million euros is chump change for a young, talented midfielder who has been running in Serie A, has playing some fantastic football, and has even more potential to continue to break into. So this is a bargain fee for Sassuolo. Yes, it's a bigger fee than they're probably used to as a club, but they'll look at that fee and see the ability to double, to triple it in a few years' time. And that is why it is such a good move for Sassuolo as well as Ismael Kone. This is a player who had shade on him, who was looked at in a negative way after leaving Olympique Marseille. The responsibility wasn't looked upon. The consistency was not there and did not have the ability to carry out a full 90-minute performance and be able to truly possess his full talent and show it on full show at Olympique Marseille or even at Stade Rennes. And it hasn't been there since making his move truly to European football in a while, especially in French football. But once he joined Italy, once he went to the Serie A and joined Sassuolo, we have seen the best version of Ismael Kone. We have seen that talented, dribbling maestro of a midfielder who can create play, who can be that spark plug in the middle of the pitch for Sassuolo. And he has done that all season long. Been the player that Sassuolo looks to sometimes kickstart plays, kickstart transitions, carry the ball up the pitch, and to have his head up, to have the bravery, to have the confidence, and the responsibility, once again, to be trusted with the football and carry it up the pitch in a meaningful way. And Ismael Kone has scored big goals, has created big chances, and has been a major part to why Sassuolo has been fantastic in moments this year in the Serie A. A newly promoted team into the Serie A, trusted Ismael Kone to come into this side, to be a part of the project. And he took that responsibility on full flow. He has rose to his potential, rose to his ability, being trusted and being given that confidence to be a key player in this Sassuolo team. And it has done wonders for Ismael Kone this year. This is the best version we have seen of him by far. At 23 years old, Canadians will think he should be older by now. With how early he broke out onto the scene at CF Montreal, it is amazing to see how young he still is. But the fact that he has finally found his club, he has finally found his league, he has found his level is so important, especially in the biggest year of his footballing career, the home World Cup, the year that he needs to be on form to show his ability. And he has found it at Sassuolo. 19 starts, 20 matches, 4 goals, and 1,600 minutes at the time of recording is unbelievable. It's unforeseen. It's something as a Canadian supporter you wouldn't have expected when this loan move first happened. I didn't think he would become one of the most creative players in Sassuolo's squad, one of the most important players to why they are sitting mid-table, scoring big goals in big matches, in big moments. He has been a pillar of this Sassuolo side, which is huge for a player who is 23, who is lacking confidence, coming off a terrible move to Olympique Marseille, with no hype around him to make this move to Sassuolo at the start of the season. Ismael Kone has proved everybody wrong, and that is incredible from where he was at Olympique Marseille. To turn it around in such a major way is huge and can only do his confidence a world of joy ahead of a World Cup, ahead of continuing his future with the Sassuolo side in the Serie A. It will do the club and himself and the national team absolute wonders. And it is down to the management, it's down to the coaching staff, but it's also down to the midfield department, and I think that is a huge reason why. When you look at Sassuolo's midfield, you have Thorsveit, who is a Norwegian international, who is still in his prime at 26 years old. But more importantly, I think a big pillar of what has really changed Ismael Kone, in my opinion, is the 37-year-old experience, the guidance, and the leadership of Nemanja Matic. One of the best midfielders of this generation, one of the best defensive six-minded midfielders of this generation, has been playing alongside Ismael Kone. Kone has learned from his leadership, from his guidance, in training, off the pitch, in matches, so much from one of the best midfielders of this generation. And you've been able to see how good Kone's been this season. I think it has to do with a big part of playing next to Nemanja Matic this year, learning from him in training, hearing what he has to say off the pitch. I think that has a whole host of good, what he has learned this season from a Chelsea, a Manchester United legend, a Serbian legend. It means so much to learn from a player of that quality, of that ilk. And you have seen the level he has risen to, and it has to have some factor to do with Nemanja Matic playing alongside him, in my opinion. And for the future, this is a huge move to make this permanent because Kone is staying in the Serie A. We all know the Serie A isn't the quickest league. It's not the fastest league. It's not played with the highest of tempo. It's a tactical, it's a smart, but ultimately a defensive league with great defensive-minded managers, great defenders, and are very solid at the back. And Ismael Kone has used his dribbling, has used his pace, and his intelligence to a Q, to a brilliance in the Serie A. You just have to think of another midfielder at Napoli. I'm not comparing them, but Scott McTominay. His trend going from the Premier League to a slower-minded league in the Serie A, who can dribble, who can score goals, who can play with flair. Kone has some comparisons there as well. He joins a league that's less physical than in the Liga in French and comes to the Serie A, where he can break out, show his ability, show his attributes, which we all know so well. It's his dribbling. It's his ability to pick up the ball at the middle of the pitch and run at the back line, get in full flow, get in pace in transition, and also his close quarter dribbling, his turning in close areas, being able to shift defenders, move them from one area to the next, and get around them with ease. And he has done that so well in the Serie A with Sassuolo, picking up the ball, controlling the tempo, taking his man one-on-one. And that simply comes with confidence. with that responsibility once again and the repetition. He's been backed by the ownership, he's been backed by the manager, and you can clearly see the confidence was back in Ismael Kone all season long at Sassuolo. When it wasn't there at Marseille, you could see it coming through at the national team level as well. And the fact he has found that form, the fact he's been able to show his attributes, his ability once again, but carry that through with his confidence, with his physicality, with his pace, shows we're seeing Ismael Kone in the right league. Each league has its own difference. The Premier League with its pace, its physicality, and so with the French League. It's not as physical as the Premier League, but it's still a physical and a demanding league as well. Spain, very tactical, very smart with passing, intricate play, very intelligent league. Then you have the Serie A, which is smart, defensive, and very built on a strong back line. And Kone has been able to use this league to his advantage. His young legs, his pace, his intricate dribbling, and he's proven that all season long. And I really think staying in the Serie A, it's the perfect league. It's the right match for his style, for his stylistic fit. And we have seen that all year long with Sassuolo. I think it's so exciting to see him stay at Sassuolo, stay at a club that can fight mid-table, that can move for a Europa Conference League position in the near future. If they continue to build like this with smart signings and continue to work towards the top of the table. But Ismael Kone keeping his future at Sassuolo is so important, not just for the club, not just for himself, but also for the national team. And for me, yes, he might have been at the club already, but staying there permanently, not having to go back to Olympique Marseille, this is another A transfer for me. I don't see how you can move past this. I don't see how you can grade this lower than an A for Ismael Kone. It's such a good move. It's such a good transfer to stay in Italy, in the Serie A, in a league suited for Ismael Kone's style of play. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments about Ismael Kone staying at Sassuolo for a fee of 13 million euros. Yes, you heard me right, chump change. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Make sure to hit that like button, drop a sub, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.